So I wanted to make this video. I know I'm gonna get shit for it. However, I want to say at the beginning of this video, this is not to like put these two games at war. The reason I'm comparing these two games is because they're my two favorite games and the only two gacha games that I'm currently playing at the exact same time. I plan to keep playing WUWA. I have very high polling plans on it, and the same goes for HSR. However, I mostly want to make this video to kind of let people who play WUWA realize this game isn't as generous as you guys try to make it out to be. Now, yes, the banner rates are 100% better in WUWA. However, this is not to compare banner rates. This is to compare polls and how much better the Annies did for out of the normal polls between each games, right? So, we finally got a leak from a semi-reliable leaker for, WUWA on how many polls we should be getting on the Annie patch. So we have 123 character banner polls, 17 limited weapon, and 32 standard. Now, for anyone who wants to know how the 123 character banner polls stack up against HSR, HSR's first Annie had 118 free-to-play character banner polls, and the second Annie, which is the one going on right now, has 121 with a limited free 5-star and another limited free 5-star coming up in a few patches. Now, yes, WUWA gets the 17 more limited weapon banner pulls. However, I feel like that's kind of okay. Like, it's not anything that crazy. Most people care about character banner pulls, and I'd also like to add that the average pulls per patch in WUWA is higher than it is for HSR, and on top of this, some of these pulls are basically just compensation for the small amount of pulls you got from Shorekeeper's side being ran fast, right? So this is less pulls than it looks, plus this includes the compensation rewards, which weren't there before. If you exclude the compensation rewards, this would literally be worse than both of Honkai Star Rail's anniversaries polls wise, which is embarrassing, right? And this is what I want people to realize. I don't hate WUWA. Once again, I love this game. It is the only other game I'm playing alongside HSR. However, the entire reason why this game blew up was obviously old Genshin Killer at the beginning. However, a big reason why people loved this game was its generosity, right? That's why people felt so happy with dropping money on the game. They felt happy with supporting devs who actually rewarded them in return for the support and for continuously playing the game. And you don't have to quit this game at all. You don't have to care about this. I completely understand that. However, I'm making this video because I do care about this. Why has there been this propaganda that this game is a million times more generous than HSR could ever be, when in reality, they're extremely fucking close? The average pulse per patch for WUWA is 100, while for HSR, it's 90. However, in return, HSR has gotten a free doctor ratio, which by the way was available to claim for multiple patches, unlike Zheng Liao, who was only available for one. And we now get a free limited 5-star with Ruan Mayor Luocha on this Annie, and we're getting another free limited 5-star upcoming. Like, these two are actually comparable rewards wise. Now, once again, yes, WUWA's banners are better. There is 10 less hard pity and there are guaranteed weapon banners. However, my point still stands. The generosity between both of these games is incredibly fucking similar. And I think the propaganda going on by people who just blindly love Kuro and WUWA about it being so generous and, oh, I don't know how the devs haven't gone broke from being so generous to the players, is so cringe, right? Once again, if we did not get compensation pulls for people complaining about the Annie, this would have been a worse anniversary than HSR's any Annies. Even the first one that didn't have any free limited 5-star and only 30 more limited pulls than usual, it would have been worse than the very same game that these WUWA CCs and, a big part of the fan base hate on for being greedy and predatory, right? Now, yes, HSR has power creep. However, I agree. You know, I agree. I will give you guys that point. HSR has more power creep. However, the point still stands. In terms of like pulls per patch and all that stuff, these two games are incredibly fucking similar in all honesty, right? Love y'all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure some people will get mad at this no matter what and thinking that I'm completely shitting on Wuwa blindly or whatever. However, I just want more from this game. Like, I just want more from the game that has been praised for being so much more generous than every other gacha game in the space to actually be more generous than Hoyo. Why are we competing with the lowest of lows in the gacha space and trying to use that as a justification for, oh, it's just Wuwa's first Annie, when this first Annie is very comparable to HSR's first Annie as well. Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace. So I was uploading my video and realized I forgot to add something that's actually quite important. 10 rerun banners, right? 10 rerun banners. However, the more scummy part in my opinion is the fact that because they rushed Shorekeeper's banner for the Annie, they 100% did this on purpose because you're not able to get 10 limited pulls until after Zanny and Phoebe's banner is gone. That's right, they rushed Shorekeeper's banner so that you would get 10 less limited pulls on the first phase so that the first phase wouldn't be on the anniversary date. Hey, hey, you know, hail Kuro, right? Peace out again.